Our next edition of Get to Know Your Seniors is with Tim Schweitzer from Bedford, Iowa. Tim, I guess we'll kind of been sticking to a protocol here with quite a few of the players, but we'll kind of jump out of order here a little bit. Probably what everybody's wondering a little bit is how's your knee doing? If you could share that a little bit.
Doing a lot better. Just got cleared for open gyms and pretty much all activity, so that's a good start. It's been feeling good through the first couple of those too. So. Okay.
So obviously you worked kind of heavy with that over the summer, and a lot of work going into that. It's I'm sure a good feeling to be back as well.
Definitely.
Kind of the next question, Tim, has to do with maybe why you chose Nebraska Wesleyan. Obviously you had a brother here, but maybe take us through why you chose Wesleyan. How much was just Andy being here? Did that play a part of it? And maybe what were some other attractions kind of looking at Nebraska Wesleyan?
Family was definitely a deciding factor. I have a lot of, my mom's side of the family is actually from Lincoln as well. So that was a big draw for me here. And obviously I wanted to make it easy on my parents so that they didn't have to try and travel different places for different games. But that was a major thing. And the other main thing for me was education. The computer science program here was very attractive to me.
Okay. So you're getting your degree in computer science there. What do you plan to do after you graduate?
Well, I have an opportunity to work at Phoenix Web Group in Waverly, and I'm mulling that over, and I'm also kind of waiting to see if I can look for any other opportunities that might come up.
Okay. What about, as we kind of talk on the computer science side of things, what might be your favorite class? Kind of looking back, your 3 years or first 3.5 years so far, what might be your favorite class?
It was actually my introduction to computer science course. The very first one I ever took was with Dr. Faby, and it was just very basic HTML coding, but it really sparked my interest into that sort of field.
So. Okay. Activities outside of basketball. Obviously, we spend a lot of time on the floor. Guys spend a lot of time studying. What might be some things that you're involved with, either on campus or just with some of your free time, that you can tell the basketball viewing audience?
Most of what I do is support the other teams, whether it's at a volleyball game or a football game. Whoever's playing, we try and come out and support our fellow students as much as we possibly can, and that's where I spend most of my time.
Okay, so we might see last night our volleyball played Doane, and pretty large gathering there. We flip back to Saturday, the Wesleyan Doane contest in football. Pretty large student body area there as well too, but just some of that leadership and kind of creates a pretty good buzz, pretty good atmosphere at some of these games too, doesn't it?
Yep, sure does.
Tim, my next question a little bit is you kind of being out of town, you said you had some family from Lincoln. What would be maybe your favorite restaurant within Lincoln? Maybe you already know the answer to this question.
Yeah, it's definitely Chipotle. I eat there at least once a week, and pretty much after every game when my parents come to visit, we go there too.
And I've gone there for an extended period of time now,
yeah,
with Andy being around.
Yeah, probably about 4 years.
Looking at the kind of the basketball side of things, or moving back to the basketball side of things, as far as NBA, who do you follow in the NBA? What player, what team do you follow in the NBA?
I'm a huge Dallas Mavericks fan. Dirk Nowitzki is my favorite player, just because he's big and he's a little bit awkward, but it's pretty much impossible to stop. And he finds new ways to put the ball in the hole every single game, and it's always interesting for me to watch.
Talking about our basketball team, what might be the most memorable maybe basketball moment or experience from a basketball perspective, kind of thinking back over the last 3 years? Hopefully there's more of these to come, but what might be maybe a moment that sticks out in your mind?
Of course, the Estonia trip and like the upsets over Dort, things like that. When Pwolf Nation comes out and supports us at our home games is always awesome. But probably my favorite memory was actually on my second recruiting visit here. There was a 2-on-1 fast break. Andy was leading it, and I was on the other side. Jim Lance was standing underneath the basket, and Andy just threw me a lob without even, I didn't call for it or anything, but I went up and dunked it on a senior, and that was, I don't know, kind of a big deal for me, and I still make fun of Jim for it all the time these days. So.
What about any pregame rituals, any traditions that you do before a game? How do you get yourself ready to play in that game?
The last thing I always do when we run into the locker room, there's the same spot up above that doorway that I touch every single time. It's quite a jump. It's probably about 10.5 or 11 feet. And I don't know, it just gets me mentally ready to go. And then before we start warm-ups, I just kind of take a moment to think about all my old teammates, all the people back in Bedford that supported me over the years, and it just kind of settles me down and gets me ready to go.
Okay. What will you miss most about Nebraska Wesleyan? As you look back maybe 5 or 10 years from now, Tim, kind of thinking about whether on the court or off the court, what do you think you're going to miss most about your experience at Nebraska Wesleyan?
I would say it's definitely the people, just whether it's teammates or fans. I mean, that kind of experience is something that I definitely cherish a lot, and I'm definitely going to miss that when I leave here.
Okay. That concludes our interview with Tim Schweitzer, a senior from Bedford, Iowa.